Okay, so this is the 2010 Magic Tilt galvanized boat trailer that came with my Precision 18. And you might notice that there is a piece missing, which is this piece right here, and that's the wheel fender bracket. And so they both broke on the same day, one on the way to the marina and one on the way back. So one with the boat on it and one with the boat not on the trailer, so an empty trailer. But yeah, they both broke on the same day. And then, I was on the side of the highway taking off the wheel fenders. And so this bracket is welded onto the leaf spring L bracket. So that's this piece right here that holds the leaf spring and is just clamped onto the frame at either end. And so I'm going to go through the process of swapping those out with some new parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark a couple spots here so that when I put everything back together, I can check the alignment and hopefully everything will line up just as it originally did. So we'll see how that goes. So I've taken all my hardware off. I took the bolt from right here, from the front of the leaf spring, loosened up these brackets. Didn't take them completely off the frame, but just slid them forward out of the way. I lifted from the back, and that keeps the front wheel on the ground so the trailer doesn't move as much with the passenger side wheel chocked and then also the front tire chocked. So now all I got to do is slide this bracket back a little bit, get this piece underneath the leaf spring, and then slide it forward and free. Alright, so this is the moment of truth. I've slid this back. Now I'm going to lift it, and there we go. So now I should be able to get this all the way free. Sure enough. Okay, so there you go, broken part free. Alright, so I was able to lift the boat high enough that the bracket came out and then went over and slid the whole assembly forward. And now I'm going to put the new part on. Okay, so here we've got the new leaf spring L bracket from Magic Tilt, $70. And of course I had to take it off the boat, send them some pictures, send them the VIN number of the trailer, and then they were able to identify the part, manufacture them presumably, and send them to me. So this is the new one, and then this is the old one. The new one is from the driver's side, the port side, and then the old one is from the passenger side, or the starboard side of the boat. And so you can see that, for one thing, these brackets, which are what broke, they're a little bit thicker now on the new ones. The old one was not quite as thick, and so I don't know if you can see that. Maybe side by side. So yeah, it's definitely a thicker piece now. So maybe that was something that, since 2010 they figured out that these were failing. But yeah, it's definitely, a much thicker bracket now that's holding on these wheel fenders. And so there's the wheel fenders. And I guess the other thing that I've realized is that, these are, I'm guessing these are made, kind of one of a kind. And so, probably each one is different, but the holes on the current fenders definitely don't line up with the new brackets. So for now, I'm going to drill some new holes that'll line up. But eventually my plan is to go ahead and replace these wheel fenders as well. And they're, depending on where you get them, 50 to 60 bucks each. So I'm sliding the new bracket in, and from the front to the back, and then it's just a matter of lining that up and then bringing it back forward into position. Okay, so here we can see that I brought the new part back past the end of the leaf spring and then down, and then get the leaf spring into the little bracket, and then try and line it up with where the old one was. And so now I just need to clamp everything down and put it back on the ground. Alright, so I did notice I had a little issue here. When they, I guess, did the galvanizing process, it left this hole a little dirty. So the hole is no longer round, and the bolt won't go through there. So I'm going to have to chip some of that extra metal out of there. Alright, so I got the forward bolt in the leaf spring back in, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the frame onto this L bracket, hopefully lined up just perfectly. And then put the clamps back on, both front and back. Alright, so I've dropped the trailer back down, and so we've got the leaf spring through the bracket in the back, lined up very well with the original positioning of the original bracket, and all I got to do is move these clamps onto their original spots on each end. Here you can see the original hole and then the new hole for the new bracket. So again, the new brackets didn't quite line up, and I did try and adjust them a little bit, but I also didn't want to break them off. So there you have it. So on the front here you can see everything is very well lined up with the original marks. So that looks good. And so here's the new L bracket with a new hole in the fender, because the brackets didn't quite line up with the old holes. And I noticed when I was putting this clamp back on that there was a big chunk out of one of the bolts that holds the clamp on, and that was from the spring sliding back and hitting the bolt. So I actually moved it back another inch, just so that way the spring has a little more room to compress and move rearward. Here are my two broken parts that just came off the trailer. So both the left and right leaf spring L bracket. Here it is, all beautifully put back together with the new leaf spring L bracket.